Let's take a look at different resolutions and different aspect ratios within Photoshop. When creating any sort of content, it's important to understand your final output. Understanding that and knowing where your content is going to go will help you first create the certain canvas size or artboard size for your content. Let's take a look and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so here I am in Photoshop about to start a project. And the question is, okay, where's my project going to go? And so here's different recent content or recent ratios that I've created content for. But if we just kind of quickly skim through these, we've got photos, landscape or portrait, along with some templates that came with Adobe's Photoshop. Print. You can see there's print work, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper at 300 pixels per inch. Legal, 8.5 by 14, 300 pixels per inch, and so on. You can also custom these as well. Art and illustration. We have 1,000 pixel grid, 2,000 pixel grid. So those are square, 2,000 by 2,000 or 1,000 by 1,000. These might be good for if you're creating posters, if you're creating maybe a square business card, maybe you're creating a texture for a game. Something like this might be helpful for you, or a simple like postcard or poster. Web, you've got standard web, most common 1366 by 768. 1920 by 1080 for a large web page. Maybe you're doing a mock-up for a web page starting in Photoshop. You could actually do that. You could create a whole web page or mobile application within Photoshop and then splice it up to create a mock-up or a template to see how something might look and feel through different ways, different applications you could use for that. Of course, we're going to jump to film and video. Of course, 1920 by 1080 is pretty common. 720p, pretty common. Again, these are all 72 pixels per inch. And all these different formats here. And then finally, mobile. Mobile, you've got iPhone 10, which is 1125 by 2436. iPhone 8, 7, and 6 Plus, and so on there. Of course, the iPad Pro 12.9 inch as well. Again, 72 pixels per inch. So, what aspect ratio am I going to use? What am I going to do? Well, if someone said, hey, can you create the cover for an ebook, an electronic book, whether it's going to be in Kindle or whatever, what would I choose? Well, I wouldn't go to print because it's going to be electronic. Where is somebody going to read an ebook? Most likely they're going to read an ebook on an iPad or maybe even their phone. So I would probably choose iPad Pro for this particular one, and that will give me the right ratio and all of that sort of thing to create my content or my cover for an ebook. If someone said, hey, I want you to create a poster, well, now we have a couple options because we could actually find a poster in print, or we could create like 8.5 by 14, depending on the size of poster they're looking for, or we could go to art and illustration and choose poster 18 by 24. So again, 300 pixels per inch. So we have a few different options there that you could create. Film and video, same thing. You've got 1920 by 1080. If someone said, hey, can you create a cover for my Instagram video? So Instagram is going to be vertical. It's not necessarily going to be 1920 by 1080. You probably want it 1080 by 1920. So if I chose this for an Instagram video, I could come over here and make a change. I'm going to say, hey, I want this vertical because we're creating a vertical video. And there you go. And I would just click create. And now I've got a 1080 by 1920 canvas ready to create my content. I hope this helps when looking at different aspect ratios, different presets to help you get started on your project depending on what the final outcome will be. You'll be able to get started on that much quicker than just trying to create something custom off the fly. You could use these templates to get you started much faster. Till next time, I'll see you in class.